Hey guys!
Welcome to SIP. So we are Footnotes Society's stand-up directors,
April.
And Alfred, and this is the Footnotes stand-up podcast.
Very exciting. Since lockdown has interrupted the flow of new stand-up content, we thought this would be the perfect way to scratch that comedy itch.
Yes, we will be covering a variety of topics, all centred around imparting our stand-up knowledge onto you, all wonderful listeners. But mostly we'll just be trying to have a laugh.
Exactly.
So keep listening to SIP, the Footnotes stand-up podcast. Willkommen! That today is SIP, the return, you could say.
The return of SIP.
We've been away over Christmas. We didn't do a Christmassy episode of SIP, unfortunately. We could have recorded straight from our homes.
Theme.
We had a holiday theme, that's very true, but we didn't actually, record from Santa's lap, which is what I'd have liked to do to celebrate the Christmas holidays. He was, it's true. He was rather absentee this year. I only got a single shred of coal in my sock, not even a lump. Just a single sort of splintered piece, which was very unfortunate.
Not even a stocking as well, just a sock. That's another level of poo-ness. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
That voice that you can hear popping in. No, don't worry. It's not your subconscious. It's not Jiminy Cricket in the background speaking to you. It's actually our guest for this evening, Alex Ravenhall. If you know wonderful. Footnotes, if you know the Guild, you might know him out and about. He wrote and directed The Departure Lounge, which is a wonderful Three Bugs performance that went on last year. And you can catch it. I think there's a recording on YouTube, isn't there? Or was it live streamed?
I don't know if it's still there, but it was on for a while. Check out Three Bugs for that, I think.
Check out just YouTube. It should be on the trending tab, right at the top.
I think it's broken the internet, I think.
And then someone actually dies as the clickbait, and it's just like this old person gasping.
Yeah. OMG, life has an end! ! So, like last term, we're going to be doing a few chats. We're going to be asking Alex especially about his stand-up experience in a second. And we also have a few changes to the formula coming up that we'll explain later when they become relevant. But first of all, I think we should introduce our drinks along with ourselves, because I realise for any new listeners, they don't know that it's me, Alfred, speaking, and also my co-host,
April. It's me, your worst nightmare.
Fantastic.
I'll go in with what I'm drinking. It's a bit rogue. Drinking straight toffee vodka out the bottle.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but it's actually it's really, really yummy. And it's actually running out, which is a shame.
Stop drinking it then.
No, I'm gonna buy another one. Bloody great. Yes, that's me.
What does it taste like in comparison to regular vodka?
Oh, just like toffee. It doesn't taste like vodka. It's like toffee, which gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling in your chest and makes you forget everything.
Oh, fantastic. What percentage?
You can actually make your own out of Werther's Originals. Interesting.
Yeah, you just eat Werther's Originals.
Yeah.
What percentage is it?
By that, do you mean make your own warm, fuzzy feeling or make your own toffee vodka?
This is 20%.
Oh, nice. Because like a lot of the vodkas where they combine them with another large flavour, the percentage of alcohol that tends to be quite low. Like, isn't it a vodka ice or Smirnoff Ice, which is the lemonade one, basically?
Oh, I mean,
other brands of vodka are available. Isn't it like the alcohol percentage goes down to like 8% or something ridiculous?
Yeah, well, that's like 3 or something.
That's 3. That's nothing. That's water.
Embarrassing, right, Alex?
Yeah. Honestly, don't be drinking that around me.
Dreadful.
Yeah, we would have got dead with that shit.
Well, I'm here with my Biera Moretti, so it's not exactly hardcore.
Oh,
it's home.
Would you like to introduce it then, Alex?
Yes,
Throw in your beer with a bit more flourish.
Yes, hello, I'm Alex Ravenhall, and this is the Luigi Moretti Biera Moretti. It's L'Authentica, which I think is authentic in Italian. So it seems like it's a real deal. And no, I usually go for a load of Carlings. But I was in Uni Superstore on my ones, and I thought, you know what? Could treat myself this evening. I had 3 of them, fell asleep very early, but there was 1 left over, so it worked out perfectly for this.
A good choice. I hate beer,
What?
but I hear that is a relatively appetizing.
Yes, yeah, no, it's quite palatable.
What's the flavour profile of this palatable beer?
It's well, firstly, don't drink it if you're pregnant or driving. Just to warn everyone ahead of time.
Thank you.
I couldn't tell you that. I can tell you that it's got aqua, or that might be Italian for water. So I might skip that one.
I think that might be.
That is the least interesting of the ingredients.
I know, but I saw aqua, and I thought, oh, that sounds a bit, Italian. But it's because it's malted barley, maize, hops, and hop extract, which is not what you asked me, but it's all I've got.
No, but that is the ingredients of a lot of beers. So that's good to hear. At least it's At least it didn't say like, I don't know, paper and beef, because then you'd
I would
worried.
be worried if that was the case.
You'd be like, But if it still tasted like beer, you'd probably be like, wow, delicious. Like, keep doing it.
Green alternative.
Great, yeah. Well, very green.
What have you got, Alfred? What
I haven't got tons, but what I do have is quite potent. So I've just got the last bit of this Craig and Glen blended Scotch whiskey.
I feel like I'm really letting the side down. You've only got a beer, and you're on the you're on the heavy alcohols.
It's been aged for 3 years.
Wow.
I've got just a bit left. I've been slowly taking my way through it for the last week or so, and I'm down to the last bit. Long term, not good for the liver. Remember that, kids. If you're listening and you're thinking, wow, alcohol sounds really cool, remember there's negative effects to everything that's fun.
Listeners will probably, the demographic would be under, I don't know, 10. Or
That's all our listeners.
Yeah. This goes out after CBBS. It's great.
So we should explain the new kind of framework of SIP, because we obviously, as people know, we did stories before. Now we're basically kind of doing a more stand-up focused or stand-up oriented direction with the podcast. So we're going to ask Alex a few questions about how he would design his stand-up tour, and that is going to be the
his dream stand-up tour.
His dream stand-up tour.
There's
anything can happen in this.
No
scenario.
Caveats due to reality. This can be exact anything that Alex's mind can dream up because of course, all of us stand-ups, we all aspire to that one day where we can take a really, well-prepared, fantastic, award-winning tour around the nation, maybe even overseas, if that fancy takes you, and if not even if that fancy takes you, if fame grants you that liberty. And before that, you've got to have a clear idea of what your stand-up tour would be about. No one cares about the content of it. No one cares about the actual jokes and the writing. We're not talking about that right now, okay? That's for another day. We're talking about everything else, okay? That you that doesn't require years and years and years and years of learning and training to master and to obtain.
Right, I've got my party poppers and a firework coming out my arse, and I'm ready to go. Right, so as part of the new setup of SIP, just kickstart the podcast, we're going to be asking our guests, and Alfred and I are going to be offering one, or I don't know, 2 if you're feeling fruity, a very terrible joke that could be made up, could be not, could be told by your dad, probably was at some point, but there it is. So in honor of that, Alex, sir, I don't know why I said that like that. Please give us your worst joke. Go.
Well, just because you said 2, I'll give you an easy one and a harder one. They're both mine. They're both
Excellent.
shit.
Ooh, I wonder what the difficulty means.
Yeah, well, I think you'll soon see.
Okay, all right.
The easy one. What is the best month to make preserves?
April. I don't know.
Is it January?
It is indeed absolute classic.
As soon as I said April, I regretted it.
It still reigns supreme. The second one, I'll give it a
You
go.
made that up. That's very, very witty of you.
It is not. It's seeing that January and January sound very similar and going, you know what, I'm going to be incredible.
It's a good one. It's a good one to start the set, though. To be honest,
Yes.
it lowers expectations. Then you can throw out something incredible. You know?
And then I can throw out this next one, which
Okay,
is
perfect.
I shouldn't be actually telling you it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I love it.
Vizelia, known to her friends as Vu, has a French test coming up, and so she's been revising away for the French test. Of course, sing together. And she's so stressed that she wakes up one morning. She goes, "Oh God, I've got my French test." And so she runs into school. She grabs her bag and she runs into the room. And she goes up to the teacher and she goes, "Oh, is it the day of the test, sir?" And he turns to her and he shakes his head and he goes, "Wrong day, Vu."
Oh no! Oh no!
It's not
Oh
even
my
not even a pun. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I thought it was going to be.
No
I
sense.
thought when you said like voulez-vous, I thought it was going to be like voulez-vous coucher avec moi or something to do with that.
No, it's even worse.
How
on earth
because
did you come
basically
up with
Wrong
that?
day,
That's so
Vu.
I was in a rehearsal, I think, for Farmer and Cow, and I do this. I hear words because there's this radio show I should be able to name.
That's good. That's a good start.
But there's this radio show that does this thing where it's different definition for words. So another one I've got is yes, I think
the
so.
Oxford English Dictionary.
Yes, I think that's it. So another one I think that's a bit better is category when a feline accepts your argument. That's a better version of one of those jokes. But or maybe
I
not.
like that. No, I like that. That's good.
But yeah, so I heard that rendezvous because I was looking for words with lots of syllables and lots of things to play with, and so I just literally grabbed this joke and shoved it into a bottle it didn't fit in, and that's what you
Yeah.
get.
I think the only
master,
thing that I would say is that I think a pun is immediately slightly lessened when you change a letter, like January and wrong day, Vu. Like one of the letters is changed in that, so immediately you're going, ooh.
Yeah, but sometimes genius isn't appreciated at its time, and
That's true. That's true.
And in this case, I think genius is very much subjective.
In many ways, you've actually, I should say, satirized the institution of puns by substituting.
That's exactly what I was doing. That's exactly it.
I think we should give it a vote out of 10. 5. Let's go 5. Let's go 5. 10 is a bit excessive and unnecessary.
What should we say for the ranking? So
okay,
one star is...
One is like crap, but like crap. But then 5 is crap, but like good crap, you know?
Good crap. Yeah, nice. Okay. I would say for the first joke, personally, if you don't mind me going first, I think for the first joke for January, I think that is so bad it's good. I would give that like a solid 4, I think.
Really?
Like, I think that because it's quick, so it has that joke factor of like being like a bit unexpected, and you could throw that in, and if you're playing like a character or anything, I think that could be pretty funny. But I think for the second one, unfortunately, I just think that the build-up is neither expected nor unexpected. It just seems so kind of incongruous to the setup. But I would say I'd have to give that like a 2, I'd say, at best. But January, I do like. I'd give that a 4, I think.
See, I'd say 3 for January because it's not April and I don't care for the other months. Then the other one, I would say, yeah, I'm just going to go up and say it. We were all thinking it. And then the second one, do you know what? I think it's terrible. I do have to admit, but I appreciate the effort and therefore 5.
That's all we're here for.
That's a lot of effort points.
I think that it's because you're owning that it's crap, the fact that it doesn't make sense, and I really rate that. So that's me. That's my 2 cents. Should I go on to my crap joke? I have 2. I don't know if I want to waste them. Right. So the first one I heard on the fantastic TV show Scrubs, and it's shit. I mean, no, the show is brilliant, but the joke is crap. So the joke goes like this. A man. Oh, I've fucking forgotten it. A man walks. Okay, I've got it. A man walks into a dentist office and says, "I think I'm a moth." And then the dentist says, "Well, if you think you're a moth, then why do you come to the dentist?" And then the the man says, "Because the light was on." Oh wait, the moth says, "Oh fuck, what is the joke?" Someone said,
If else, I know the exact bit in Scrubs you're referencing.
"Yay, thank you." And JD gets it wrong anyway. I think that was what threw me.
Yes.
God
And
damn
also,
it.
we are doing the most terrible jokes, so in a way, that also rides into it.
Yeah, it does. Completely spontaneous though. So that was that. That was obviously a 5. So my next one, I'm gonna vote on my own. My next one is a joke that I notoriously get wrong because I can't remember how it goes, but I think it's really funny. So it's, and I'm kind of riffing because I don't remember a bit before the punchline. So this is what I think it. If a James Bond actor was to be a sea dwelling creature slash animal in the sea, what would his name be?
Uh,
Fair enough, that's not very clear.
Daniel Crab?
Wait, what did you say?
Daniel Crab?
No, but you're so in the right vein. This has never
Oh.
worked successfully to the point that someone has actually understood what I've been saying. So keep going.
Sean Cuttlefish? No, I mean, I just... I can't even remember the actors.
Roger Marine. No. Pit.
Are you gonna give up?
Wait. I think we've got to give up, unfortunately, or we'll be here forever.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So the actual answer was Prawn Connery.
Was there to take.
Nice.
I think from your laughing, that was a great one. But I tried to work backwards. So all I could remember was Prawn Connery. So then I had to make up the rest of the joke because I couldn't remember what it was. You could also have Codger Moore. That sort of works, but not really. Yeah, so that's mine. Do you want to vote and give me full marks, please?
I think once again it was the second one was exactly like mine in the sense that the build-up made no sense. And I really appreciated that. So I'm gonna go for a 5. I love nonsensical jokes. And also I'm just picking myself up here, I realise. It was like mine, I'll give it a 5.
You see, jokes that make no sense are the new wave. The first joke turned to dust. So I find that very hard to rate. But the second joke, I think there's lots of possible answers which I quite like. You can try and do a lot of different. So if someone throws out one and thinks they're being really clever, they've come with the answer to your joke. You can go, no, yeah, Prawn Connery, or what was it?
I really like Daniel Crab. That's really great. I mean, it's not quite right, but it's good.
It's great, and I think I would say I'd say that's like a solid 3 for the second one. It's above average. I like the idea.
I thought you were going to go with crap 0. Right, have you got one?
I do have one. Because when I said that there was a joke about camels, I found the joke, which I remember from when I was a little kid, and this is the one. So it's not actually about the camel, but the camel is in it as the narratorial voice. A camel is walking across the desert when he hears a wolf howling at night. And he approaches the wolf and he says, "How come you're only howling at night at the full moon?" And the wolf says, "Well, during the day, you can see the cactus before you sit on it."
Is that the joke?
No, that took me a while, but I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's the entire joke.
I don't get it.
And then one that I actually did tell on stage was when I was a little kid, all I wanted to do when I was grown up was a pirate. So there I was in the playground with my big trench coat selling off illegal copies of Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay, that would be better if I knew what Tomorrow Never Dies was.
That's a James Bond film. You should know. James Bond joke.
It's all connected. Brilliant podcast.
Yeah, it's all interconnected.
Right.
Thank you.
What is?
Go on.
I don't get the first camel one. I don't understand what happens. Why would he be howling if he can't see?
You couldn't see the cactus up his arse.
He sits down and
Oh,
he's
so
like,
he howls because he
"Ow!"
sits on it. I get it. Right. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Go on, mark 'em, guys, mark 'em.
I'm gonna go with 2.
For both.
Oh no. Okay, 2 for the first one, and then
Mhm.
I think the second one's clever, so I'm gonna go 4.5.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to go for 2 and 4. It's very similar.
Nice. Very similar.
The second one was banging.
That balances out at like 3.25 or something, so that's pretty good.
Or something. Christ.
Yeah. That's like a
I think
that's
that
like
actually balances at 3.25 recurring or something.
One thing I will mention that we've actually neglected to ask Alex is actually, can you tell us a little bit about your stand-up experiences?
Oh God, yeah, go ahead.
That's very true. Now that you've introduced them to us through your jokes.
Yeah. As much as I talk the talk, I haven't quite often walked the walk. So I've only done stand-up once, and that was in first year. And I remember my set was very much based on my experiences with romance, which I think is kind of is something that a lot of people will do on their first time round, because it's about you. It's a bit self-deprecatory. It's safe just to kind of build up your confidence, I think, and it can be quite funny. I remember my set. I'm not saying it was funny, but my set was about.
Mine was fucking brilliant.
It could be quite funny. Ergo, me. But no, it was it got a good reaction. But I remember thinking that the great thing about student stand-up is it's very very encouraging, and obviously you're going on stage and people are rooting for you. I would be interested to do that set again in the centre of Birmingham and see how well it would do. But yeah, my set was just basically based on in my school nativity there were 2 polar bears, me being polar bear 1, not to brag, and she was polar bear number 2. And so I knew the girl quite vaguely. And then one day I think I was about 6 years old. I was in B&Q looking at the paint, and she just ran up behind me and slapped me on the bum and then ran away. And that was my kind of my first experience with women. That was I managed to get 5 minutes out of that, which is actually quite impressive now I think about it. But yeah, since I've written loads of sets. Oh, she's I don't know. I never heard from her again. Actually, I should have took that as a yes.
I hate it. I hate it when that happens. Like one minute they're slapping you on the bum, and then in B&Q, and then they're running away. You know.
I don't think I ever saw her again. Oh, sorry, I burst into tears as well. That was another thing that happened. Yeah, I was 6. I wasn't expecting to be slapped on the bum, to be honest. Yes, but yeah, that was it really. And yeah, I've written sets since. I sent them to Kat Forbes, who used to be the stand-up director, I think, or the vice-president of Footnotes, and she really helped me like build up a set, and I was really proud of it. I mean, I definitely want to do it again, but as I said, I'd quite like to try it in a actual venue. As well, not to say I'd love to do the Footnote stuff as well, but just to see like how I could do in that. Like, for instance, Alfred, you did Chortle. Like, how was that?
Yeah, that was most sort of butt clenching moment of my entire life. I think it was good though. It was so good because I had to like go out to Cardiff kind of on my own. I felt like it felt like how you would hope doing stand up full time would be. But yeah, I mean, I won that preliminary heat, which was completely and utterly unexpected, because my set was just kind of bizarre. I didn't think it was like actually that structured. I thought other people had more structured stuff, but it was definitely different, which I think maybe was what they liked. But not enough to get to the finals, obviously. Boo hoo.
I heard last year was rigged anyway, so don't worry about it.
I mean, the semi-finals weren't even done in person. They were done. They just took the videos from the preliminaries, which I felt a bit cheated by, but it's all right. Not here to bash Chortle. They're a lovely organisation. But Alex, if you'd like to try out some of your stand-up, we do have a stand-up night upcoming. On the 16th of March, we'll be having our first one-night Zoom Zoom stand-up, where you'll be able to, try out some of your material for 5 minutes in front of a Zoom crowd.
I think it's what needs to be done as well, just to give people the opportunities in a bit of a messed up time. So I think fair play.
So
I'm a woman.
As April teased earlier in this podcast, we have a new segment This segment is called Build Your Dream Stand-Up Tour. The title is not catchy, but the segment and the individual at the centre of it most definitely is. We have a few questions that we've sent Alex to get him to sort of start with some ideas of like how he would build his dream stand-up tour, and we're going to ask him a few of those questions now and see if he can, think on his feet a little bit, and also tell us about his wonderful dream stand-up tour that he has in his mind, that we all know that once all these restrictions are gone, we'll be booking tickets for. As soon as it all goes up, we'll be in there. We'll be front row seats. April, I think you have the first question.
Yes, I do. So, Alex, let's say is, not would be. What is your stand-up tour's theme?
Theme, it's between two things. One of them's linked to the name of the show, but the first one is either calendar puns / one-liners.
Calendar.
Calendar. So I'd go from January all the way to something in December that I can't think of on the spot. Or it would be like a fake panto, like a roast of pantomimes.
Interesting.
Which it might need a bit of explanation. Basically, I've only had two jobs throughout my life, and both at theatres. And it's been lovely. I work with fantastic people, but it's caused a deep hatred and resentment of pantomimes because you end up sitting through the same show 3 times a day. And there's only so many times that they can be behind you before you just shout, fuck off. Sorry.
That's actually quite a good tip for life, to be honest.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's only so many times they can be behind you before you have to shout fuck off.
Do you know when you say you angrily stomp your foot as a joke? Like, no one actually angrily stamps their foot. I once had a knee-jerk reaction when they went, well, we'll have to sing it again then, won't we? Woo! And I stomped my foot in genuine anger and outrage. And it just wouldn't end. I felt like I was lost in this just forever pantomime.
A grouchy Beano character, just like, codswallop, can't believe that. Getting on with this pantomime again.
Yeah, and it's so weird because they're so happy and the kids love it, and I'm just there like, you're all idiots. You're only 6. It's not your fault.
Where's the depth? Where's the humor?
Where's the nuance?
Yeah, I think the happiness is nauseating.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a really good theme. I definitely quite like original. I'm feeling that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Better than the calendar puns, I think.
The calendar puns is interesting. It could be all about it could be about the onset of time.
What would April be? Have you got one?
April would be what is National Warmonger Month? April of the Hun.
Right. Did you just think of that?
Yeah, no, you caught me off guard.
Oh no!
I had for April already. I mean, that went down like a sack of sticks, which once again is exactly how I want my tour to go.
I was quite impressed actually that you did that just now.
I do like this structure in the sense of, though, again, going back to that Andy Kaufman.
I'm just thinking about all the other months now. Sorry, just in case.
You could come on with the premise of you have these 12 amazing puns, and the rest of the show is just like shit. It's just rubbish, and you don't want to talk about it. It's just filler.
Yeah.
So you have these 12 amazing puns, and you rattle them off, and you're so disappointed that you just go off into your rant about pantomimes, and it's hilarious and it's funny. But you, as the character, don't get that.
That's a set that I've thought about before, which is that you start and you say your set is one joke, but and you go, this is the best joke you'll ever hear, and you start your set, but you constantly get distracted and you tell different stories, and then they never actually get the joke, or it finishes with like January and everyone's very disappointed, because that's what you want to leave people with.
That is good.
A sense of utter disappointment.
I like that.
Real counter. I like that. That would require quite a lot of memorizing, I feel, to get like the timing, especially.
Yes, I think timing would be quite difficult.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think if I do want to do it again, I want to be more experimental. But obviously, I say all this, you've got to get up there and do it, because you have so many ideas, but then you go, oh no, this one won't work, so you don't do it.
That's interesting as a theme. So calendar puns and pantomimes. Fantastic. So the second question then that has to be asked is, where will the tour begin?
Yeah.
And where will it end? And why have you picked those two locations?
So it starts at Borough Town Hall because it's my local. I've never actually seen a show there, and I would very much like to. Never seen Panto there, which is always a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd start there. It's quite a big venue. I think it's like 1,000 people. So I'm hoping. And then
Right.
I'd basically do a massive circle. So I'd go down the East Coast, bring it round to like Devon and Cornwall, and then bring it back round. And I would finish at where I currently work, which is the Princess Alexandra Auditorium, which is just a 750 seat place. And while I'm there watching pantomime over and over again, I just think I would love to be on that stage doing it myself. And then it would just be, I don't know, like I'd
Wow.
like to then, like, when it all closes down, go and chill with the staff, who are obviously my good friends, and just, have some drinks and chill out after the fact. And
The
just
atmosphere, of course, being very grim because you've just torn pantomime apart.
yeah.
They're just like,
I get banned from the venue on my return.
so you
Like,
always
oh,
hated it, did you, Alex? Oh my god.
Yeah.
You were stamping your foot. I was wondering where all those grooves came from in the floorboards backstage.
Yeah, I mean, I might get some stick for it, but I've got a small theory that some of the staff might agree, but I won't throw anyone under the
I was
bus.
going to say they're probably all thinking
Yeah.
the same thing.
I'd almost like, if I could, because it's a dream, I would love to actually hire staff so that the staff could go. So like actually just like hire 7
Save
people to
them.
man the bar so that they could actually come and watch the show and actually enjoy it.
Wow.
Because basically
Incredible.
it's very niche content just for those 7 people. Like, oh yeah, I remember that show. Classic. Yes you do, Barbara. That's a fake name, just in case, I don't know, legal reasons. But yeah, I think that'd be quite fun.
Yeah. So next question: who would be your warm-up act, or act plural, depending if you have
This could be
those?
any comedian that you like, no matter how famous they are, they're gonna step down.
I'm gonna pick someone who no one's heard of, I think, but I feel like he deserves it. There's a guy called Gary Knightley, who I saw at the Edinburgh Fringe, and he had a show called Twat Out of Hell, which was basically a rock opera. Another pun, if anyone wants it. It was like a rock opera that was just. I'm quite a scared person, and I don't like to be picked on, and I like things to be nice and quiet and like, James Acaster, that is funny. This guy came in, and he was like, "Lovely to meet you," and then he said several expletives. "Lovely to meet you," several expletives, and he just came. He was screaming at you. You felt petrified to your seat, and he'd pick you out, and you just hate every moment of it. But you come out with this. Yeah, I didn't really sell him there. He's a great stand-up, but you come up with this incredible sense of euphoria that he's just. I don't know. I couldn't explain it, and that's not my type of comedy at all. Like in your face, shouting.
Yeah.
And I just found him absolutely fantastically funny, and he was a real highlight. Gary Knightley. He's a really good stand-up, so I'd go for him because he's done a little bit. I think he's done like Mock the Week a couple of times and things, but he's still,
You
I'd
get
say,
good energy by the sounds of it.
yeah. No, that's the thing. I think he would rile up the crowd, which is amazing. And it would, helpfully get them in the right space of mind for mine, which would be very different. I don't tend to shout in people's faces.
You don't strike me as that kind of person.
No. Wish I was, but no, I'm no Gary Knightley. So yeah, I'd pick Gary, and yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's had a kid recently. I'm not a stalker. I just know that he's had a kid recently, and so yeah, it'd be lovely if we could go on tour together and share some stories. And
That's a great choice.
That's really good.
I think,
and also as a counter to your own style, it's good to have someone who warms people. Like he'll warm them up if he's running up in their faces and with this kind of. They'll be ready for your.
As I said, I'd love to tell some of his jokes, and like give him some give him some publicity, but I can't say any of them because they're extremely rude. But do go and watch him, and you'll have a laugh.
Fantastic.
I will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, highly recommend Gary Knightley. So yeah, that would be my warm-up act, I think. And let's go for James Acaster to give the people what they want.
Of course, everyone was James Acaster.
Yeah.
I remember I saw James Acaster as the warm-up act for Milton Jones back in 2012 or something. And it was I didn't know it was him back then because, of course, he wasn't particularly big. But when I have memories back of that show, it's very obviously is James Acaster, and apparently it was him doing the support for that stand-up tour.
Yeah, I really like that, and I'm definitely going to look him up because I love an expletive.
So, of course, the next question is, what's the name of your tour?
So it depends. If we go down the calendar route, I'm going to be a bit cheeky and take a quote of Alfred's himself. You see, I love reviews, and when I said my joke at the start, Alfred said the phrase, "So bad it's good," and I think that's a great title for a show. So
That
if
is
I went
quite
down the
good,
calendar
yeah.
route, I think I'd go for "So bad it's good." With the pantomime, it would be Alex and the Flammable Beanstalk, which is basically reference to. So I work at a place, the PAA. I worked at a place before then, which I won't name for legal reasons, and they had Jack and the Beanstalk pantomime back in the day. Like, I actually did enjoy a pantomime every now and then, and like, this venue didn't do as many pantomimes, so it's fine. But at the end of the first half, they throw some beans in a well, and they have this beanstalk that comes up, and it's amazing. They have sparklers, and
Wow.
so the curtains pull across, and all the cast turn around and gesture towards it, and it rises into the start, and it's this glorious moment. And what had happened is one of the sparklers had gone off, and a bit of ignited paper had got inside it. And so when they opened the curtains, there was just this molten ball in the middle of the stage, and then it just like all came crashing, and they like whipped the curtains closed. You just heard these extinguishers going off and everything.
How traumatic! Jesus Christ!
It was honestly awful. And then I just remember someone I was working with came up at half time, and she went to me, "Was that supposed to happen?" I went, no, I don't think it was.
To be honest, I also really like the idea of molten ball in the middle of the stage. Is quite a nice.
Yeah, I
stand-up
mean, you don't get
title as
effects
well.
like that anymore.
That's true.
As well.
That's practical
Like
effect.
they got more than they bargained for when they came to see that.
All these new pantomimes, they're all CG, aren't they? You know,
Yeah,
no practical effects.
Yeah, you know, that's the real. They're the true artists. And then the next show, because it was a double show day, they had to just get some tinsel and rig it up. So rather than this massive beanstalk, it was a bit of green tinsel that just come up.
But I
And
think
then
even the
poor
kids
Jack
would
had
be let
to.
down by that.
Yeah, because it's the big reveal as well. Like, I did feel bad for them. They got a new one, I think, after that. But yeah, it was quite an interesting time.
When you said about the "So Bad It's Good," that really reminds me of, you know, how in the Arctic Monkeys' Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino album, one of their songs is called like 4 out of 5, based on the fact that the album was given like 4 out of 5 by one music producer. And I like that idea of you could take a review and be the name of your show. I like that.
I think especially with like such the toxic kind of energy around any performer. As soon as you put yourself out there, people troll. It's a way of, I don't know, getting attention or something. I'm sure us on the SIP podcast we get heckled once this
Honestly,
bad boy
Alex,
goes out.
I have so much hate. I honestly don't know what to do with it. I get hate mail. I get poo sent to my door weekly.
So yeah, so we want better puns. They're fuming. Yeah, so I would definitely take your weakness. To be fair, that's still a great title, but you know, take your weaknesses as your strengths. I know there was a stand-up I saw again in Edinburgh 2 years ago who on his flyer he had all his bad reviews, only his bad
That's
reviews.
Great.
Really?
I thought it was really fun. Yeah. So it was like 1 star, worst stand-up at the Fringe, and that was his like selling point. He was like, "I'm the worst stand-up at the Fringe," and he was
Oh
great.
my god!
You know,
I feel
because
like
you know,
if you did that
comedy's
with a
subjective.
show- Yeah, I feel like if you did that with an actual show, though, no one would go.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think the
think
Fringe
it's-
is a very weird place to do it, but yeah, no, I think you get away with it.
I think that's great. I think that shows a lot of balls. I think with stand-up especially, like those kind of reviews really do play for your favor. Like just comedy in general, people are going to be like, that's quite a lot of balls. Whereas, you know, no one does that with drama just to be satirical. No one's
No, because if you said this is the worst drama, no one would
this
see
is the worst drama that
Yeah.
anyone's ever seen. To be honest, you could put that on your stand-up poster. The worst tragedy anyone's ever seen.
Worst tragedy anyone's ever seen. That's good, actually.
Yeah,
It's a good line.
To wrap up your stand-up tour, so bad it's good. Was that your title?
Yeah, or Alex and the flammable. I've forgotten it myself. Alex and the flammable beanstalk guy.
So
I like
Alex's brand new stand-up tour, so bad it's good / Alex and the flammable beanstalk / inflammable beanstalk, because as we know they mean the same thing for no reason. will be touring as soon as possible. Okay, as soon as the pandemic's lifted, Alex, you can bet that he's going to be out there performing to you, your gran, your cousins, everyone you know, just your family, no one else's. He's specifically very picky.
I think that this dream tour is actually not even that fanciful. Do you know what? I actually think that a lot of it is actually quite doable, and I believe in you. And actually, I think the content sounds bloody brilliant, and I
Thank you
can't,
very
I
much.
can't bloody wait. You and
Yeah,
Gary Knight / James Akers are up there. Sounds like a dream.
We would give it positive reviews, if only to sabotage you trying to put your negative reviews on the cover of your poster to give you less to pick
You got
from.
me again.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing, though. They also give me lovely reviews, and then I put them on, and then I get an actual decent show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd give you a 5 out of 5.
How's everyone done with their drinks? How far down has everyone made it?
I finished that about 30 minutes ago.
Wow. Yeah, I finished mine.
Like a bad boy.
Well, thank you so much, Alex, for being on this week's episode of SIP, the Footnotes Stand-Up podcast. We've enjoyed having you on. I hope you've enjoyed being with us. It's been great to hear about your dream stand-up tour, and we can't wait to attend it. So I think on that note, it's goodbye from me, Alfred.
Goodbye from me, April.
And I assume it's also goodbye from me, Alex Ravenhall. And you guys have been great. Give yourselves some credit. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you very much.